we was all sitting there talking in the parking lot, and then gave Officer Wooden his meal and told him I had to get on to the office because I had paperwork I had to do. So I turned around, and as I was exiting the parking lot at the old mall, I saw this gentleman standing at the corner. Didn't think too much of it, just thought it was a parent or somebody standing by waiting to, maybe to go into school or maybe waiting on one of their kids to come out. As I made the right turn to go down the parking lot to go out to Athletic, the gentleman pulled up his sweatshirt he had on, and all I could see was a gun.
So at that time, Sergeant Barnes, I've got to go back in and do some more paperwork because I'm typically sending him a bunch of paperwork so he can correct and fix and forward on to our clerks. And so he does a U-turn and leaves the parking lot. As he basically begins to take a right, that's when I hear shots, several shots fired.
So I punched it, tried to get out of the parking lot as quick as I possibly could. Shots fired, I felt my face, I could feel blood, and that's when I got on the radio and let the department know that I had been hit and that was the guy with the gun in the parking lot.
When I followed behind him, I had a group of students that were to the left of where the shooter had stood. I initially thought we had a drive-by, and then later, after talking to the students, which did a great job of maintaining their calmness and control, they were able to say, hey, no sir, we weren't involved. It was a guy that actually shot at one of the cars, so that helped us out a whole lot in the investigation.
I didn't know where he was at that time. I drove over to Nelson Field, searching and scanning, trying to see if maybe he was coming to try to, try to finish me off or whatever the case might be. I didn't see anything about it. I alerted the dispatch that I was at Nelson Field, and then I advised them, since I didn't see anyone, that I was on my way over to the EMS station that's right at the back of the school, and I headed over to the campus, to the campus, but to the EMS station to try to get some services.
I've been in education for over 25 years, and we practice these drills over and over and over again, but you hope that you never have to, that day never comes. And unfortunately, that day came. And honestly, it's probably one of the scariest days that I've ever experienced as an educator, because literally the worst thing that could happen on a campus potentially happened. And if it wasn't for Sergeant Barnes, things would have been much worse.
Sergeant Barnes was actually on campus that day for the well-being and the welfare of his own officer. He was actually bringing Officer Wooden breakfast that morning. So he had just picked up some McDonald's and dropped breakfast off to Officer Wooden before turning around to leave to go commence the rest of his duties for that day when this incident happened.
I felt like the students really felt comfortable with the amount of safety that we do provide. I think that is a big attribute to Sergeant Wooten and Sergeant Barnes, being present and being active. And we also had a team of counselors there ready and willing to give some support to those students that needed it.
I'm just the officer in the wrong place at the right time, and just glad I was there. Because the last thing I would want to think about is a lot of students and staff getting killed. I'm not trying to be nobody's hero, but I have to say I'm just glad I was at the wrong place at the right time.
We use that H word they don't like to hear often. We definitely see and view Sergeant Barnes as a hero. Everybody was elated that he was back. When in his brief separation from campus, so naturally we sent gifts and warm welcomes, and actually went and visited him in person. Sat on the couch with him for a little while, and I shared with the staff the words that he shared with me, which he just shared a few minutes ago, is that he was happy that the negative energy was directed at him, and that all of the staff members and students were safe on campus. So we truly revere him as a hero at Northeast Early College High School.